have 2 days to go until the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, so of course, we have to start wrapping up the final rumors and reports before Nintendo spills the beans, and we seemingly have all of these questions, rumors, and reports answered by Nintendo on April 2nd. And while I have a huge stream event planned for that and a massive episode of the Nintendo Byte podcast, today we got to focus in on the cleanup. I'm going to call this the weekend cleanup. We got a bunch of rumors and reports we got to get to. Got to get this out to you guys. So let's go ahead and buckle up after I remind you we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 right now through the pinned comment or down in the description. Just click that link. It'll take you to Viral Sweep. I wish everyone luck. We'll draw the winner closer to when the Nintendo Switch 2 actually comes out. And now let's get into our first piece of news. This comes from Insider Gaming. It actually comes from Tom Henderson, but it's being reported by Mike Straw. And it says, developers say Nintendo Switch 2 dev kits don't have 4K output. Now, the Nintendo Switch 2 is set to get its full reveal on April 2nd, and there are plenty of rumors and speculation about what the latest console from Nintendo will feature. One such rumor is that Nintendo Switch 2 will support 4K resolution in some fashion. Past rumors suggest the Switch 2 will support 4K when docked. When in handheld, however, it will have a 1080p resolution. Despite the claims of 4K support, there is some question as to whether that's accurate based on what was said during the Game Developers Conference and in San Francisco earlier this month. Here's the quote. I heard this from one developer at the Game Developers Conference, and I also heard it separately in an email, but the dev kits, or some of the dev kits, don't have a 4K output, Insider Gaming's Tom Henderson said in the latest episode of Insider Gaming Weekly. Now, it says, will Nintendo Switch 2 support 4K? It should be emphasized the lack of 4K output on a dev kit doesn't automatically mean the system won't support it. Console development kits often don't fully match the specs of the final system. For example, some kits could offer more memory or allow for better debugging and leave out features that don't impact testing too much, like in this instance, 4K output. Sticking to the topic of dev kits, a follow-up on the prior Insider Game report in the Developers Conference is expecting them in June. So we'll see on this front. What I will say about this report in general is there are actually Nintendo Switch dev kits that literally only output in 720p. So considering that we already know there's Switch dev kits that only do 720p, while the system can do 1080p dot, there's obviously some dev kits that do 1080p. There's probably some Switch 2 dev kits that only do 1080p as it's targeted for handheld, and there'll be some dev kits that do out to the 4K. That's what I'm presuming, of course. Again, he's only has two sources on this, and this is the first time he's brought it up. He actually reported himself on some 4K stuff a couple of years ago, so I would say that this is pretty par for the course, and wouldn't really worry about much, but hey, if Nintendo announces it's just a 1080p system, we can then go back and point to the support and be like, well, this is the first time we heard that might be the case. Now, let's get on over to another rumor that's come up before, but now we have some details coming out thanks to Family Boards and the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit who quoted them, because sometimes things are hidden there. And we learned something about what the C button might actually be for. Remember, we have a rumor out there that it has something to do with connecting to Switch 1, but that's not really what's being suggested here, so let's take a look. So Family Boards Insider confirms Switch 2 will have a new application codenamed Campus. Now, we brought up Campus one other time on the channel, but we didn't take it too seriously. This time, we're going to take it a bit more seriously. So Family Boards user LIC, same user who has been tracking the shipment listings and is a known trusted source in the forum, confirms that Campus rumor that originated back in January is in fact real. He said, it's real. The person who was spreading it around had a lot of specific interpretations and other claims that may or may not be true, but the existence of an application with that code name, which is related to features for communicating and playing with friends, is real. Campus has nothing to do with social media or Miiverse type sharing features. Now, the previous rumor from January regarding Campus has given such claims about its features. And here's the features from the original rumor. Data mines of the current Switch OS and exclusive SDK leaks have confirmed the Nintendo Switch 2 will have a group chat and voice chat functionality, codenamed Campus. And this is where the C button may or may not be for. Groups will support up to 12 NSO subscribers, and there will be screen sharing. Nothing like Miiverse. Vidmeo isn't real. So there you go. That is sort of the roundup on that. I will provide a link to this down in the description. Honestly, I expect group chats. I expect voice group chats. voice chat, all that. I kind of expected that to be there anyways. And then they have screen sharing involved with it as well. To me, that's all just a big W. I think everybody kind of wins in this regard. This is what I want to happen. This is what I expect to happen. But who knows? Maybe also in there is casting to Switch 1. That could be part of this as well. I have no idea. We'll find out on April 2nd. But we're not done. I told you, we've got a nice roundup here. So, Nintendo reportedly denied Switch 2 dev kits to a major chaotic publisher over concerns about shutting down studios. Wait, what? A major publisher got denied. So, the Nintendo Switch 2 is easily one of the most anticipated pieces of hardware this year, with a reveal set for later this week on April 2nd. Big rumors about a new Mario Kart, all that stuff. Well, let's get to the actual report. Nintendo's playing it safe with Switch 2 dev kit access. Recently, there have been multiple reports that Nintendo has been slow to roll out Switch 2 dev kits, even with the console reportedly launching in late June. On an episode of Direct Weekly, Digital Foundry's John Linneman said that many developers still don't have access to development hardware. According to what he heard at Game Developers Conference, Nintendo is being extremely selective with smaller and mid-sized studios, especially left out for now. But it doesn't stop there. Now, Imran Khan, a writer and reporter who has contributed to outlets like VentureBeat, Fanbyte, and Game Informer, added another layer to the story. In a post on Reset Era, he said a large third-party publisher was also kept out of the loop. Why? Because Nintendo thought the company was too unstable at the time and worried they might shut down studios and possibly misplace or lose dev kits in the process. He later confirmed the publisher in question was Embracer Group, a company known for its recent mass layoffs and restructuring. Here's the quote. I know of at least one kind of third-party publisher who didn't get anything because Nintendo deemed them too chaotic at the moment. They were afraid the kits would go to studios that would then be closed down. The kits might have gone missing. I don't know if their plans have changed, or the story may be from 8 months ago, but I know companies that split off from Embracer Group ended up going back to Nintendo and renegotiating, and they were more amendable. So what he is saying is basically they refused to give dev kits to the whole of Embracer Group because they were worried about those dev kits leaking and all of that, misplacing things. It's quite interesting, honestly, when we think about that whole story in general, because I obviously don't work at a game development studio, so I don't know how things can go missing, but it is interesting that like some of the studios that broke off from Embracer Group have apparently separately negotiated directly with Nintendo, and Nintendo was more amendable, suggesting that Nintendo was willing to give Switch 2 dev kits to some of the studios that Embracer Group maybe formerly owned, but no longer do in wake of all the chaos, ones that got bought by other companies. All of that. There's kind of a layer to this. There's a little bit more here over on the Game of the Week and Rumor subreddit. So yeah, this whole thing, you can click on the Reset Era stuff. You can kind of see where he's talking about all this. Look, there's a lot of these reports and rumors and a lot of last minute stuff coming out, which is to be expected when literally we are less than 48 hours, less than 38 hours, less than a lot of hours to the Nintendo Switch 2 event. So I expect there to even be some last minute stuff tomorrow. We now know that Nate the Hate, who is one of the most well-regarded insiders in the industry, is dropping a Nintendo Switch 2 related podcast tomorrow. I suspect that podcast may not have much in it. It might just be predictions, which is totally fine. Everyone's making predictions. No problem with that. But I will note that it is just interesting to me that those predictions are happening the day before. That's cool. Maybe there'll be something in there. And you know what? If there is anything, you guys know you can tune in right here at Nintendo Prime to get that information. But we'll see. I'm planning it for 2 videos to drop tomorrow. One of them is going to be the long form version from our podcast of our predictions and our bingo cards that we did for the Switch 2 Direct that you guys can also participate in. We'll details on that tomorrow if you don't already know. And then I'll probably have another video later in the day as well. That being said, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I am the Thunder Rubble Dance from Nintendo Prime. Trying to get this one in, folks. We got a stream tonight. We got lots going on, and I'll catch you in the next video.